me on Twitch now. Well, see us on Twitch, I should say. Cool. All right, so we're going to play our sponsored video here while we're waiting for everybody to jump into the room.
Over 150 years ago, in a plantation kitchen near Jackson,
Mark,
Tennessee, Lucinda Macklin, the head cook, created masterpieces of Southern cooking every day. With her culinary creativity and her knowledge of certain secrets of food preparation, Lucinda made her very own special sauces. She developed a variety of marinades and sauces full of diverse herbs, spices, and a whole lot of love. The thick and tangy barbecue sauce she made was so rich, it was poured into jars rather than bottles. Soon, Lucinda's delicious, authentic sauces became known all across the South. Lucinda Macklin was wise enough to realize that her gift for cooking wasn't truly a gift until it was given. So she passed her many recipes on to her daughter, Osabel, and Osabel imparted her knowledge to her daughter, Thelma. Thelma kept the tradition alive by passing those precious gifts to her son, Lamont Burns, and Lamont is still passing it on and on and on.
I'm Lamont Burns, inviting you to enjoy my great-grandmother Lucinda's recipes in every jar of the Lamont's authentic Southern marinade and barbecue sauce. You spend good money on meats, but you're probably not getting that good down-home flavor. Marinate your meat in Lamont's marinade. It puts the flavor from the skin to the bone, long before you ever cook it. Then add the Lamont's authentic Southern barbecue sauce, and I tell you, you got some good eating.
Sounds good.
It's a really good product. I think it'll be one of the best barbecue sauces you've had. We're going to add your screen, Mark. We're going to take your screen live real quick, and I'll introduce you in a little bit. Let's see, David, I put the link up. There you are. For those who want to join in live, there's a link to come on to StreamYard. And let me remove the commercial. I just discovered how to actually play video files. So, David, if you had a video you wanted to show or something, now I know how to get it live so that the audience can hear the sound and all of that. Let's see. We got a bunch of people coming in now. Good morning. McNonsense is here. Good morning. We got an exciting presentation.
A little different one, maybe.
Okay. We got Mark Charette here from Chompies.
Good morning.
Good. David's logging into the StreamYard here. David, I'm going to add you to the stage. There you are. Good. Well, I don't see your picture yet, but your video, and I don't hear your voice yet. So I'm assuming you're connecting all of that.
Oh, I guess
I hear something. David, is that you?
That is me. Okay.
Excellent. Welcome.
Hi.
How you doing?
Get my picture going.
Get your picture going. Get your picture on here. All right. Our official sponsor, Lamont's Barbecue. And it's really an excellent product. I use it religiously. So, and I'm not just saying that because they're sponsoring us. It's really a very, very good product. It's one of the best barbecue sauces I've had on the market.
Okay.
And it's springtime, so it's time to give it a try. You can buy a bottle of each and give it a try, and trust me, you'll be buying a lot more. David is here.
Just a second.
All right, so David, meet Mark Charette.
Hi. Good morning. Hi.
And Mark Charette has a very interesting approach to commercializing his 3D capabilities. And I thought it would be something to share. I met Mark at when did I meet you, Mark? At WonderCon?
WonderCon, yes.
Yeah, WonderCon. So as everybody knows, I was a presenter at WonderCon. And Mark attended one of my presentations and shared with me, he wanted to become a member of our Blender group and share with me what he was doing with 3D. And I thought, you know what? Everybody's trying to make money with 3D, right? Let me make sure. I'm adding you to stage. There you are, Glenn, David. Okay, there you are. Hey, there he is.
Hey.
So everybody's trying to make money with their 3D skills in some capacity, and I think Mark has kind of found a nice little niche with what he's doing. So I thought it would be something to share with the group. Now, just an FYI for the future, we got the LightWave 3D group coming. They're going to be doing an official presentation here as well, and I'm gonna check my calendar here. Let me. I'm going to share my screen temporarily, and I'll come back and share your screen again. Oops, I didn't mean to take David off. I meant to remove Mark's screen, and then I will add my screen. Let me go present, add my screen, and share my entire screen. And I want that one right there. Okay. All right. So, guys, I redid my website. It's live. So I'm going to go check the dates that LightWave 3D are coming. So chromeillusion.com. I'm going to copy this, put this in the chat box real quick. Brand new website. All right, so everybody can see my screen. I'm going to go to my webpage there. Okay, so if you want to keep up with the presentations as well, go to the About section on the website, Chrome Illusion, and then come down to Speaking Schedule, and you should see them all in here. So it's booting up now. There we go. There's our Blender 3D user group right there. We got Mark from Chompies, which is our presenter today. And then I think the LightWave guys aren't going to be here until May. So let me see right there under May 10th, Blender 3D user group, Deuce from LightWave 3D will be here. So put that on your calendars. You do not want to miss this. All the LightWave guys are here. Hey, Guy Parsons is here. Parsons, I put the link in the chat box. I'll put it in again for your convenience if you wanted to jump on live with us. Here, let me copy the link and give that to you. I know those who come on to on the Twitch later don't always see the previous posts. There. Okay. So to jump on live, Parsons, there you go. There is the link. Come on and join us as well. And Parsons is one of our presenters, Mark, so that you're aware. He and David are often here joining us and sharing. Okay, so let's see. Did my screen get taken off again? There we go. There it is. So right there under May 7th, we've got the LightWave, Deuce from LightWave right there. We'll be here live in person. He's also planning on bringing on the owner, the owner, the person and the company, and the person that owns the company that owns LightWave 3D.
Right.
I think that will be great. So if you want to come and watch any of my presentations or join any of my workshops, they're all listed here now under About, under Speaking Schedule. Okay. Okay, cool. God, got a lot of people is jumping in now. Good. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Blender 3D and LightWave discussions here at Digital Creativity with Stephen Burns, aka Chrome Illusion. And we got an exciting presenter today. So as I started talking, we had a few people jump in while I was speaking earlier. I was speaking. I was an official speaker at WonderCon. I have also just been asked by the San Diego Comic-Con to present presentations to be approved have my panels approved. So if anybody has any ideas about what they might like to see at the San Diego Comic-Con live and with Blender 3D, you know, type it in the chat box. Let me know what you like to hear, and I'll propose that as well. But I met Mark. He was at one of my presentations, and he was sharing, as I started talking earlier, he was sharing with me what he was doing with 3D, how he was trying to make how he was trying to monetize it, I should say. And I thought it was really quite interesting. And he was using a combination of 3D and AI and other programs to monetize his product. And so I thought this would be kind of interesting for you guys to show you guys, because we're all here trying to make a living with our 3D skills. And I thought Mark had kind of a little slick little way of kind of handling that. So Mark, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Happy to be here. Thanks for including me.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to make your screen live now. There it is.
All right. So this is just my Etsy store showing up here. So primarily just have T-shirts.
Yeah, you might want to kind of share who you are and.
Oh yeah.
So it's your first time, so.
Yeah. So I am becoming a digital artist. I didn't have much background in it, but I had a great interest in AI and the AI development over the last couple of years. I've tried to keep up with the new tools and possibilities with that. And I just find it really interesting, and been watching YouTube videos and such, and learned about a couple of websites where you could create art just by like put in a prompt, as they call it, put in just a description of what you want to see, and the websites will generate art based on what you put in there. So I've actually tried a couple of different things in the last 6 months or so, and I ended up coming up with these characters accidentally while trying to do a previous a different Etsy site. I just put in a prompt, more general one, and it just came up with a couple of crazy claymation type characters, and I just went from there and ended up creating a bit of a business. And as you say, I went to WonderCon to maybe make some contacts and met you, Stephen, and here we are. So I on my Etsy site, I'm still mostly just selling T-shirts. There's a dog bandana, a couple of kids shirts. These are art prints, like canvas prints that you can get for I think they're more for kids, for infants room or something. So trying a few different things. And yeah, so if that tells you a little bit about who I am. So I primarily have been working with Leonardo.ai. And like I say, with one prompt, I can get sort of endless creations with Leonardo's flow state. So I'll just copy one I was using last night. I got some new characters together. Go back with Leonardo's flow state. You can just type a prompt. So I just copy and paste what I put in there. Put a vibe. You can do any style they have here, and I've taken to, like I say, claymation type characters. And for a shot type, I put in cute. But again, you have many options here. Spooky, spiritual. You can change the lighting in here, color theme, but that's all I do for now. I'm generally try to make them 16 by 9 and then click on generate. We'll see what we get today. These are kind of in the same vein.
Now, this is Leonardo, right?
Leonardo.ai, yeah. So say I like this one, say more like this, and it'll give me some that are in the same style with golden hour, with color scheme of split. Don't really like what it's giving me there. Well, say I like this guy. So what I would do, if I want to make this a 3D print, first I had to upscale. You want to go just to high. So you have so many credits with a subscription, and I'm using 17 credits to upscale this. And now it says ultra upscale because I've already upscaled. I could use more credits and ultra upscale it, but that's all I generally need. Download the image. And, excuse me. Next, I would go into Canva. Uh-oh.
And you might want to explain Canva for those who may not know what it is.
Canva is great for creating. What is it doing? Okay, yeah, so Canva is a great tool for artists. Slow to respond here. So you can do documents, whiteboard, presentations, videos, and so let's say put in a logo, gives you templates. Oh no, sorry, my mistake. Create a design. Upload file. So that's what I was working with there. Use a new design. And that's the width and height of the image downloaded. Okay. So with Canva, you can add framing, shapes, graphics of any sort. So these ones with a crown are pro, basically pay, I'm not sure what it is, $15-20 a month, and you get access to all the graphics you can use. If you want to search and say, I don't know what we want to do here. Let's put him in there. Oh, that's a bit big. Sorry. Sorry. Just double click and then. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. So I'm going to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want to do that. And then, let's see, 'cause I don't want Shrink him down. Can remove the background. So this has a black background. We don't want that. This is what I generally do in Etsy with my artwork. But
so in Etsy, it's kind of important to kind of create these little visual promotionals.
Sorry, yeah, Canva is, yeah. Sorry, I might have said Etsy there, but Canva or Etsy is a sales platform. Canva lets you create any kind of graphic. It has AI tools itself.
So for those who are not aware out there, Canva is the direct competition to Adobe's Creative Cloud.
Right. Yeah, I just again, I was learning all this by excuse me, by YouTube videos and such, and just the people I was watching more directed me to Canva. But yeah, so in this case, I have just removed the background and share this to download. Transparent background, download, and now actually this one didn't work very well. It doesn't like lettering very well. But let's go back to where we were. So I don't know if I downloaded this. Yeah. Right click, open file. Oh. Go to my downloads, sorry. Right click, open with. Oh, sorry, I'm using my wife's computer. My laptop wouldn't hook up to the double monitors or to the external monitors here. I don't even have Canva installed on here. So,
well, Canva,
my apologies.
Works virtually, right? It works online on the cloud.
Yeah. So I will. Yeah, but there is an app also, either for, let's start a new 1376 by 768 file, upload file. We'll do that one we just downloaded. Expand it out. Background remover. Okay, now. So say this is a character we want to make into I've been making 3D prints of these guys that my wife was hand painting, and generally what I've been doing is selling at local markets and stuff. I'm in the Phoenix area, but the t-shirts are obviously available online. But so now I've got this downloaded. Did I download it? Share, download, transparent background, download. Okay. All right, untitled design. So this is an online, it can be free. Your first 10, I think, are free. The CSM 3D.csm.ai, and it's a really neat tool. So if I just clicked on image to 3D, drag and drop a single image to generate 3D assets. Let's do that. There's my guy. Click next. And there he is. So it says sculpt queued. Might take a couple of minutes, but we can look at one I did earlier this morning. So again, that's just from the image. I downloaded it. So this was just created as a regular 2D image. Remove the background in Canva, and then go to CSM 3d.csm.ai, and this is what it generates in like 3 minutes or less. Pretty neat. And then you can download it as an OBJ, but we'll keep working with what I just did. So it's at 33%, or we can just, we'll just download this guy. Downloaded. And for some reason, I need to convert from an OBJ to a STL, which is what I use to 3D print. So I go to anyconv.com, online file converter, again, free to use. Choose, where is it? Universal upscale. So it says it's currently an OBJ, and I can convert to any one of these file types, and that varies depending on what file type you're starting with. But for our purposes, we're converting from OBJ to STL. This takes seconds. Download the STL. And so I have a FlashForge 5M, FlashForge Adventurer 5M printer. And
maybe you can look it up online and show everybody what that printer looks like.
Yeah. So, 3D printer, oops. Adventure 5M, $279, and that got me started.
So it's a filament printer and not a resin printer?
Correct.
Okay.
So I'm using PLA mostly. I got one reel of white, what is it? Pet G, which I'll show you in a second. I guess so this is one of my dogs. We took just a photo of our dog, and I made this in 5 minutes or so. Well, I mean, to print it out takes maybe an hour.
Actually, hold it up again. And they didn't see it because I didn't put your face on. Hold on a minute. That's me. I don't want me. I want you. There we go. Everybody can, now they can see your dog.
Okay. So nice. Yeah. So I can show you the original photo.
And the quality on that is tight too.
Yeah, it's not bad. And I did them again in a silver, and I think it looks even better. So this is another way we're thinking of expanding our business. Not necessarily the Chompies, but we're thinking maybe we can. So I have it on a different Etsy page where you can anybody can upload a high quality photo.
do me a favor and hold those up again. I just figured out how to just show you instead of you and your screen.
Okay, well, we'll show the better.
There we go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's tight.
Yeah.
That's really, really tight.
And it looks just like him. Got his face just right.
Well, that's filmed.
He's always got the one ear up, one ear down. And I also took your headshot from your site. Sorry, I'm not sure which way I'm going here. So it's pretty neat.
Nice.
I'm actually better looking in person.
Yeah, for sure. And like I say, we were looking at painting some of the characters. So this guy was created on Leonardo. He came out with the red, with the black spots on his head, black eyes, and the white body. So my wife has taken the time to hand paint some of these characters. And like I say, we're selling at local markets in the Phoenix area. Next month.
This is a lot of work.
Yeah, but it's fun. And this is a blurb that you had shown on your on the listing for today's show. We haven't painted him up yet, but so this is so I was showing you. Oh, sorry. We're showing you this one. That's the PLA,
right?
Which is the decent quality, but I got one reel of PET G, and don't ask me what it stands for. I've heard it a couple of times. I'm not sure if you can see the difference, but this is real good quality print. It takes a little bit longer.
So what's your layer height?
Let me see. I'll open up. Sorry. Got one going here. So layer height, 12 millimeters. First layer height, 15 millimeters.
No, that's not 12 millimeters. That's 0.12 millimeters.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I apologize.
Yeah, 0.12 is really, really tight.
Yeah.
That's really tight. That's good.
Yeah. So this is the one we just imported, I think. We'll always have to rotate them. They always come out lying on their back.
Right. With the 0.12, so we can see the quality there. When I do resin print, mine is 0.05.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and just for the audience, are you using is that Orca?
Yes, Flashforge, Orca Flashforge, yes.
Yeah, that's something that Bamboo Labs, and I'm not too sure if Prusa or what's the name of the company? Prusa is also using.
Yeah, not sure. Again, I'm just doing this, flying by the seat of my pants, just learning as I go.
Yeah. That's the way you do this, do this thing. And that's the way basically what I did is when I started making models, I started very, very small.
Yeah.
And some of the things that I have made, let's see if I can bring it up here, is, like, oh.
Actually, you can hold yours up. You got
there it is.
Yeah, keep it in front of your face, and that's cool.
Nice.
This is an early one I did from my smaller printer, rougher printer. I think I paid about $150 for it from Micro Center.
And is that hand painted or?
That's hand painted, yes. Okay. That's my crude hand painting after 30 years of not painting a lick for a living. I used to be I used to be an artist from the company that made this character, and so I do a lot of animation styles, and this particular character here is Star Butterfly from Butterfly. I think her name is Star versus the Forces of Evil. Boy, I'm getting old. I'm getting old, and I can't remember the titles of this thing. This is Star Butterfly. She wears this. She has this tendency to wear these horns, and she has her magic wand because she's, a magical girl.
Nice.
And she gets exiled to Earth. That's the premise. So, what's the? Speaking of that, I was just wondering, what is the premise of this creature? What was the? Is there a story behind it?
Well, yeah, we're working on that. I was just going to say, we're so using AI, even generated sort of a storybook, 16-page or maybe 24-page storybook, telling of first adventure of the Chompies. So the backstory is they just love to snack, and
Great.
couple of them go off on an adventure to gather nuts and fruits in the forest, and get in with a Chompy that turned bad, kind of a like Gargamel with the Smurfs. Not that he was a Smurf, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Just one of them has turned into a evil, and they have to battle him for the supreme snack. So we're working on getting a picture book together, but again, neither of us are proper artists for doing the artworks, but we're getting the story together.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because part of the cuteness factor is if it has a backstory behind it, that people keep it simple and easy. My tendency for things, and the hope is in that way people can connect with it. And my philosophy is that you got 15 seconds to give your pitch.
Yeah.
You're creating something. You got that 15 seconds of attention span to get their pitch. And if you get them hooked on that, then you can start introducing, some of the other things and get them lost in the story, and they go down the rabbit hole, and you've got them hooked.
But yeah, it was, like I say, thinking of doing it all AI. So the characters are developed with AI. I found a great pattern of how to develop new characters with Leonardo. I like what it's putting out for me, and working with various, mostly ChatGPT, I'm inputting everything we want in these characters, my wife and I, and having it send stories back or develop stories based on our ideas. And I mean, of course, in the end, we'll do a little more editing and make it more our own. But for now, yeah, we just got a 3D printer, and now I'm addicted. So,
they're a lot of fun. It's very easy to buy one of these units, and like I say, they're reasonably cost, or at least they're trying to keep them reasonably cost.
Yeah,
and a reasonable cost. My advice is buy in, relatively small. And later on down the road, if you can afford some of the more expensive, more detailed units, you can get in there and Steve can give you some great advice, I think, if it comes to resin printing, if you get to that level. I want to eventually go resin myself. My only trouble is resin printing is in the early days, you really had to be careful about ventilation and all that stuff, and all that's of course now being mitigated, and that resin printing is now is more easier to do at home or even in an apartment.
Yeah, with resin printing, I'm using water wash resin printing, which is a lot less toxic, and they're strong. I mean, they've got some new water wash resins now where it's called ABS-like resin, which is a much harder water wash resin. And they've got other brand names too. I use Anycubic, and they've got a brand name in addition to their ABS-like resin. And I'm trying to remember exactly what it's called, but it's along the lines that it's a much, much harder standard resin if you want durability, and also to withstand heat. But what's nice about resin printing is that they print so much faster than your filament printer.
Is that right?
That's right, because it exposes one layer at a time instantly.
Okay.
The other advantage of it is that the detail in resin printing is so great. In regular 3D printing, or there was a term I guess they used for an acronym for it. You have to do sometimes you have to do a lot of sanding to get a object smooth. Mm-hmm. And with resin, it's all that is, you still get layers, but the layers are much finer in resin printing than it is. For this character, for the character I had to do a lot of sanding on her because, and a lot of, personal trickery, a lot of trickery trying to print her out, and in order to accentuate, in order to avoid some of the pitfalls of standard, 3D printing. And in resin, it's more scaffold dependent. So you can, the worst that you have to deal with resin printing is the points that the scaffolding attaches to the object. And also you got to put in weep holes to expel all the extra resin, because in essence what you're doing is from upside down, you're dipping this thing in a vat of resin, and underneath there's a panel, and that panel emits a UV light that freezes freezes the material at that point. It raises it up, it drops it back down again, and does another layer, and so on and so on and so forth. And that requires a little bit of ingenuity as far as not trapping some of the loose resin in the model. And I've heard a whole bunch of cool stories about how you can do that. And Steve's case, Steve is printed. He's gotten big, huge resin printers. He has, he's done this Starship. He's done the Proteus, this vehicle from Fantastic Voyage. He's done all this wonderful work with all this stuff for his clients, and he's able to get all this detail and quality into the things that you just, the only way I can get anything remotely with my bamboo is if I go I think it's like a point, I think it's like a 0.04 to a 0.02, I think, is the absolute smallest.
Right.
Even then, there's some issues.
Let's let Mark continue on with his presentation. So,
yeah. Well, there's not too much more. So we've got him in here. I would always have to enable supports. I don't know why it's not on by default. And then slice it. Might take a minute. So yeah, 0.12 layer height. Oh, I forgot to change the support type. So
there you go.
Yeah, I prefer the tree.
Yeah.
It comes off a lot cleaner, or a lot easier. My wife and I will sit there for half an hour trying to pull those regular ones off.
Yeah, the tree I found to be wonderful for characters.
Yeah,
what you're doing, because the characters come out smooth.
It does. It really does. And yeah, that was so why I reprinted our dogs. I don't know if you can get me on camera again, but so I printed this guy on his side just so there was less supports, but you can see Steven, sorry, the layers there. Oh, sorry.
There we go. There. Oh yeah.
See on his side, and then when I reprinted, I did it standing up, but with the tree. Sorry, I'm no good at this.
You gotta hold it still.
Nice and clean. Nice and clean on the same side. So
yeah, it really is.
All right. It's still lacing. So and I found out just in the last couple of days that using the tree rather than normal,
there you go.
uses slightly less filament, and the time uses slightly less time to print. So I'm obviously not going to print this guy at this size, take almost 8 hours. But so what would that take you with the resin? You say it's quicker?
Yeah, because what the resin printer does is it's printing per layer, right? And we get that layer to be a slice. Well, a 3D printer is accessing X, Y, and Z space in order to create those slices, correct?
Yes.
In the resin printer, that doesn't happen. There's only one axis, it's just Z axis. So it goes to every layer and exposes everything on that one slice at one time.
Okay.
So that speeds up the process.
All right.
So this may take only 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
Compared to 8 hours or more.
Excuse me. Okay. So, I mean, that's basically my process. I would, from here, print plate, turn my machine on. It plays a little happy song and heats up and prints from there. And this is just a one color printer. Like I say, so I bought the white Pet G. I've got black, red, hoping to work with these characters, and got a couple more on order. Don't tell my wife.
A couple more printers on order?
No, reels of filament.
Oh, well, filament is inexpensive.
No, I know. You're right. But I am just having fun now.
So what brand name of filament are you using?
A variety. I'd have to look at my Amazon, but I mean, I've used FlashForge, and nothing in particular yet. I'm still trying to figure out what I like best.
Give eSun a try.
Yeah, that comes up. So, with the actual Orca slicer.
Yeah, the eSun I have found to be one of the best.
Okay, I will make a note.
There's less stringing and it's strong and smooth.
Great. Okay, check it out. Thank you. So that's basically it. Like I say, I'm not taking up 3 hours here, but
no, we weren't intended to. Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
It is for sure. And just looking to expand the business and get a couple more things out there. So we got t-shirts and canvas prints right now. If you want to check out my etsy.com/thechompies.
In fact, let's put the link into the chat box. Let's see. Put the link, type the link
in chat with everyone.
Yeah, to chat with everyone.
Okay. I'll copy it from. No. Copy. And that's not my wallpaper. Again, this is my wife's computer. Okay, and the dogs, like I say, I've set up on a different Etsy. If I can include that also. Oops. What is it?
Yeah, type it in the chat box. You see the chat box there?
Yeah, I got the Chompies there. Did you see that?
Okay, let me see. You know what? You went to private chat is what you did.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I will copy it.
Okay, my mistake. Sorry.
I will copy it and put it into the chat to everyone. Go to my comments. And let me just put in the title, Chompies. So yeah, guys, check these out. It's pretty cool. I thought someone's actually using some of the modern AI technology along with, what I would like to see you. Are you manipulating any of these in the 3D software?
No, but if you want to show me.
Yeah, you know what? Why don't you get me, let's see.
I open Blender on here.
Matter of fact, if you want to send me the file, there we go. There's the link to Chompies, everybody.
Thank you. And also, I guess in the private chat, I put my other Etsy where I've offered to do the pet 3D prints.
Okay.
If we could do that.
All right. I will put that into the comments as well.
Whatever brings income.
Yeah.
No, you always, especially if you're going to be a 3D artist, you have to do everything. I'm doing 3D prints for clients. I'm charging them for it.
Yeah,
I'm charging them a good penny for it, but that's another way to make an income. Do 3D prints for other people if you have a 3D printer. But I've got like 12 printers, so
okay.
you have to have a lot of printers because if you start getting a bunch of people wanting you to print stuff, you got to print them in some reasonable amount of time, and it's really not my passion. I mean,
no.
I told one client that that it really wasn't my passion, but he said he was willing to buy the printers and pay me for them in a big printer. So I figured, well, okay, maybe that could work out.
So what file do you want me to send?
All right. So let's see. How large is the file, by the way?
That one would probably be pretty large. So
I tell you what, I'll give you a Google Drive link.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Let me go to my Google Drive here, and we will play with this. Let me go to.
So remember, I was saying earlier this week when we were talking, Stephen, I was wondering about taking one of my logos like this and putting it onto this 20-ounce tumbler handle for
That's right.
a Yeti.
Did you send me that file?
I did. I emailed, and it had to go to Google
Drive.
Drive.
Maybe no. You did. Hold on a minute. Let me check. I did. I put it in a special folder called Chompies. I remember now. Let me go to my lessons folder. Go to my present. Let's see. There it is. Found it. OBJs. Got it. Okay. I got the OBJs. You didn't send me the image. So go to Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
And send it to me through Messenger, the image. That should transfer pretty quickly.
Okay.
And then what I'll do is I'll share my screen so everybody can see me work on my screen.
Okay.
Let me make sure I'm in the right
laptops here.
The right one. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go over here to Facebook Messengers real fast. I'll just kind of let everybody see it.
Okay, 1 second. Sorry, like I say, I was not working on my laptop to share my screen, so give me a minute or so.
No worries. So let me know when you have it done. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and bring in your model. I'm going to go inside of Blender here, go to General. We're going to go to a new file. And I'm going to go ahead and import the OBJ. So basically, guys, everybody, Mark sent me a 3D file that he wants to put his Chompies logos on in the 3D format. So I'm going to go to my file, and he sent me an OBJ format. So file menu, import what? Import an OBJ. Let me go find the OBJ, which is right there. Wavefront, and select the Wavefront was the one that made Maya, right? It was Wavefront that made Maya, right? David?
I think so. Yes. I think it is, yeah. It's been a while since I've been doing Maya, so it's hard for me to remember that stuff. I'm getting into Blender right now, Steve.
Exactly. Lessons folder, presentations. No, it's on the lessons Chompies. That's right. So I got to remember where I put things. I'm starting to organize things to be a lot more efficient. There's Chompies.
Okay.
There's my OBJ exports, and there they are. You gave me 2 versions. I'm going to select them both and bring them in and see what you've got. There we go. Period key. Bring them all to view. That's your logo.
Right.
Okay, so what the heck did you do?
So I made it a 3D.
Oh, made a 3D, yeah. All right. And this is, send me just out of curiosity. Let me turn that here. Got it. Okay, so there's your 3D. So that's supposed to be a separate standalone 3D piece?
Yeah. Actually, sorry, maybe I sent my original logo. Let me look one more time.
Do you want is the goal is to have this on the cup?
Yes. So the bigger thing there is basically a handle for a 20-ounce Yeti tumbler. So my Yeti tumbler will slide into that to carry around, and I want to put a logo on the file on that potential customers could see. Does that make sense?
Like a cup holder.
Yeah, it is just a cup holder for a Yeti.
All right, let's take a look at this cup real quick.
Send you. There it is.
Go inside here. I want to go inside edit mode. Okay, so you probably downloaded this cup.
Yes.
Yeah, so I can see it's all tessellated, which is annoying as hell. I can untessellate it to see if I can have something a little bit better to work with to improve upon it.
Okay.
All right. So
there's the main logo I just sent you.
Okay, good. Something just came through. Let me go and hit select all here. Right click. Let's see. Did they put that in the right click? Tries to quads. It sure did. Okay, good. Mm-hmm. So right click tries to quads. There we go. Now we're in quads. Of course, it's a mess up here still.
Everything's perfect.
No, it's not like I really want to put the time into doing this again, but yeah, we'll leave it the way it is. We'll leave it the way it is for now. You want to print this cup out as well?
Yes, I will be printing that out. So I want to put the logo, curve it to beyond the outside of that.
Yeah, that's doable. And then of course you need a bottom for this. Does the bottom come up where?
No, so they'll have a cup that slides into that. So that's essentially just a handle.
It's just a cup holder.
Yeah. It's just adding a handle to a coffee cup, a portable coffee cup with no handle.
All right, good. In that case, I'll just leave it alone.
Yeah.
I would now, if you downloaded this, I would recreate this cup so it's cleaner. You got all these little bumpy edges in here, which are going to show up in the 3D print. It may or may not. I mean, when you 3D print anything, you don't want the smoothing algorithm on because you're not going to see what you're actually getting. So if I right click on this in Blender and I go to auto shade flat, not smooth, click it, you see all those striations in there?
Yes.
That's going to 3D print.
Okay.
All right, that's going to 3D print. Now there may be a way out of this. I'm not sure if the best thing to do is to recreate this from scratch. But if I were to take this, I would probably put a subdivision surfaces on here and see if that solves the problem. And I'm going to use a modifier. That's that little blue wrench here. We got these vertical menu systems. Right. You really should take my introduction to Blender class. It's a 5-week class, and Blender's free, but it'll get you started with learning how to use Blender properly. And I've got a class, an introduction to Blender class for 3D modeling. That's the one coming up. So that's the one you're probably going to be more interested in taking.
Yeah.
All right, so if I add a modifier to this and then go to subdivision surfaces, let's see, see that there, smooth it out. All right, so the tricks that you can use in terms of your CG tricks to smooth your surfaces don't work in 3D printing. You need to have the real thing in 3D printing, which means more geometry.
Oh, okay.
So I can go to another level of, now it's giving me by default a level of 1 subdivision, and I can go to 2 and it smooths it out even more. See?
Nice.
So that, and this will 3D print. This will 3D print. It's a lot of geometry in there, but it'll 3D print. Because you got other problems in here. It's a lot of problems. The problem is that the STL file is just not that great.
Okay.
And that's the disadvantage of doing this using AI and not having a strong 3D background. Is that you'll get files that you like, but they're just not optimal for printing, and you need to go in and fix it.
Okay. Now this I didn't actually create with AI. I found it on.
It's the same thing either way. If somebody else does it, and it's this low quality file, and you need to go in and make it a better quality.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have those skill sets.
Yeah, I found
there's a lot of time when I design my characters. Did I design it for 3D, for use in rendering, and then there's another. Then I take that model and I have to modify it again, or almost create it again and break it down. In my case, I tended to break it down into hunks and chunks that could be 3D printed, and then I'd have to go over and take all the stuff like the shading and stuff like you suggested off, and in some cases I've had to recreate.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this in the edit mode and see what it looks like inside. Yeah, that's what it's gonna be a lot of polys. There we go.
Yeah.
It's kind of a displacement going on, and in the back end, they're all joining to this one point.
You notice though that in the back end, probably part of the AI generation that they get a lot of little polygons creating a flat surface.
Right.
And they could probably take those off, rip those off, and you'll only get a one-sided polygon, but it'll take up a lot less. It's kind of ridiculous to have a 10 trillion panel polygon panel like that.
Okay.
All right. So what we'll do is we're going. There's a way to handle this, and say you want to take this one, you want to put it on that cup. I'm going to go. Let's put this, kind of get this idea. Now, we're going to use a technique utilizing shrink wrap.
Yeah.
We can't use shrink wrap directly on this object because it'll just shrink wrap everything to the surface of the cup.
Mm-hmm.
But what we can do is shrink wrap something else. In fact, what I think we might do is we're going to use the technique where we can place this onto any object and it'll conform to the object.
Sounds good.
But I noticed that we're kind of at a 15-minute break time. So why don't we do our 15-minute break, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to wrap this around that cup there.
All right.
And so let me, so yeah, it's going to be a nice little interesting little challenge there. It's not hard to do. Just be aware of, especially those who want to use any AI or any third-party stuff to work with. It really, you got to have your skill sets together. There are going to be a lot of times, there's more times than you want to admit, where you're going to need to go in and you're going to need to modify stuff. I've downloaded stuff like household things. I even created I downloaded a banana holder, but I wanted to modify it so that I can hold several bananas instead of one banana. Well, I learned to kind of just take what I had from the STL file, but recreate my own thing that was a lot more efficient.
Okay.
So very, 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 very cool. All right, so I'm going to get our 15-minute timer here real quick. And we're going to take a little bit of a break. 15-minute timer. There we go. And I'm going to go pull this on up here real quick. Pull this on over. I'm going to stop this. But what I'm also going to do is our sponsor, Lamont's Barbecue, has a little commercial that was given to me that they would like us to play. If I can find my, get the corner to come down here. Thank you. I want to reduce this size so it's so we can see our timer while the commercial is playing. All right, let's put that there. So I'm going to pull this to the side. So if anybody ever comes on to present and has a commercial, you can add that commercial. StreamYard put a new link called Present or Invite, and you can tell it to present an actual commercial.
Cool.
There's the commercial. Everybody should be able to hear the sound, right?
Yes.
Over 150 years ago, in a plantation kitchen near Jackson, Tennessee, Lucinda Macklin, the head cook, created masterpieces of Southern cooking every day. With her culinary creativity and her knowledge of certain secrets of food preparation, Lucinda made her very own special sauces. She developed a variety of marinades and sauces full of diverse herbs, spices, and a whole lot of love. The thick and tangy barbecue sauce she made was so rich, it was poured into jars rather than bottles. Soon, Lucinda's delicious, authentic sauces became known all across the South. Lucinda Macklin was wise enough to realize that her gift for cooking wasn't truly a gift until it was given. So she passed her many recipes on to her daughter, Osabel, and Osabel imparted her knowledge to her daughter, Thelma. Thelma kept the tradition alive by passing those precious gifts to her son, Lamont Burns. And Lamont is still passing it on and on and on.
I'm Lamont Burns, inviting you to enjoy my great-grandmother Lucinda's recipes in every jar of the Lamont's authentic Southern marinade and barbecue sauce. You spend good money on meats, but you're probably not getting that good down-home flavor. Marinate your meat in Lamont's marinade. It puts the flavor from the skin to the bone, long before you ever cook it. Then add the Lamont's authentic Southern barbecue sauce, and I tell you, you got some good eating.
All right, so we will now do the now we'll share my screen. We'll do the timer.
All right.
All right, we'll do the timer and let's add this. Oh, I got to take off the other one, right? So this is new in StreamYard. It does not automatically take off the other one like it used to do.
You're making me hungry.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. There we go. Cool. All right, let's do the timer. We'll be back in 15 minutes.
All right.
Oops.
We're going to go back to the
minute timer.
All right. There we go. All right.
Cool.
I'm back.
I like that commercial, by the way.
Yeah, it's a good commercial.
All right. Well, thanks for your patience with me.
No problem. We learn a lot from your presentation.
Thanks. And hopefully I'm not giving away all my secrets that somebody's going to take and do the same thing with.
I think they're already doing that.
Yeah, I know. My characters, though, and how I develop them. May just run out and grab a sip of coffee. I'll be right back.
All right. I'm going to mute my mic temporarily.
Be a plan.
All right, it is that time. All right, cool. We are back. I think everybody can see my screen accurately.
See it?
All right. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and do a surface to form concept from this. So he's got this 3D plaque. This is actually probably made from some form of displacement mapping. You've got some thickness to it, so you basically have a shape that you want conform to the surface of this cup.
Yes.
And I'm thinking you want that shape to. Do you want this to keep this size, or do you want me to shrink it a little bit?
You can shrink it.
Shrink it a little bit. Hit the S key on the keyboard. Shrink it down about what, like that?
Yeah, that works.
Okay, that works. All right, so I need to conform. I want to freeze it to this particular size in Blender, or apply it to this size. So Control A, rotation and scale. I'm going to target the cup also. Hit Control A, rotation and scale. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just put my cursor to the dead center of this object. So Shift A or Shift S, cursor to selected. Come on, Shift S, cursor to selected. There we are. The reason I did that because I want to bring in another object to match that particular location. That other object is going to be a plane like this. The plane is too tiny. I want to make it about the size of the Chompies logo. So S key for scale, match it, say it something like that. That looks good. Mm-hmm. Let's rotate it to match the vertical space of Chompies. So hit the R key, then the X for the axis to restrict it to, then 90 for 90 degrees rotation. Okay, we've got them matched. Okay, so I want to subdivide this a little bit. So I'm gonna hit the Control A and apply scale and rotation. Tab key, edit mode. So I'm gonna go edit this. And I'm thinking, let me just go ahead and just subdivide this. And I want to subdivide this up several times. I've got 20, maybe we'll go 30. Okay, that works. I think that'll be just fine. So you'll see why I subdivided this in just a minute.
Sure.
Tab key to go back to object mode. Now what I want to do is I want to parent the Chompies logo to this plane. So select the logo, select the plane, Command P for parent and object. So if I select the plane, everything moves together.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what I want to do next is give it a modifier so that whatever type of distortion that I apply to the plane, the Chompies logo is going to follow that plane.
Okay.
And I'm going to add the modifier, but I want to add it to the Chompies logo. Modifier deform, okay? And let's see, what was it called again? It was called surface deform. All right, now I want to tell it what surface to deform to, which is going to be my plane. Hit the eyedropper and click on the plane, and there's my plane. It's seeing it now. It's an object for the Chompies logo to be deformed to. All we're going to do now is add a shrink wrap to the plane. Here's my plane. We're going to add another modifier, and it's going to be under deform shrink wrap. Well, shrink wrap it to what? You want to shrink wrap it to the cup. So target the eyedropper for the, eyedropper for the target. Click on the eyedropper, and there we go. Okay, something's wrong. Oh, I know what went wrong. Let me go back. Let me go back. Let me go back. Let me go back. I know what I did wrong. All right, select the logo. The plane is selected here for the I'm forgetting the name of the modifier again. The brain's kind of the surface deform. What I forgot to do is hit the bind key. Hit the bind. There we go. Now it'll be bound. So now I can select this. Now I can add on the shrink wrap. Now I can tell the shrink wrap to conform to the cup. See?
Oh, nice.
Okay. So now I can, if I select the shrink wrap, see, I can put that anywhere. See? Anywhere on that cup. If I want to rotate it, all right, I can.
Nice.
Right? Isn't that fun? And it's actually sitting on top of the cup. And I've got an offset modifier because what's kind of important is, let's see if I offset a little bit. You want that 3D piece to sink into the cup.
Correct.
Because you want it to be, when you 3D print it, you want it to be literally part of the actual surface.
Correct.
So I sunk it in just a little bit using offset.
That's great.
See, and that's how you do it. Now, isn't that fun?
Yeah, for sure. We'll be playing with this.
Yeah, so that's how you want it. Like if you're gonna do greeblies on starships, you can do it this way. You want the greeblies to conform to the shape of the ship, but that will 3D print, and we know that because what you're gonna do is select the logo and select the cup only. Now take note, I select the logo and the cup only, not the plane that conformed with it. All right, so with just those two selected, I can go over the file menu, export this out as an STL.
Great.
All right, I'll go find the Chompies folder. There's my lessons, and there's the Chompies. I'm gonna go find, come down to here. There she is, Chompies. OBJ export. I'm gonna make a new folder and call it STL exports. Oops, did I not name that correctly? Rename.
There you go.
Okay, STL exports. And I'm gonna call this one cup with a logo. I'm gonna bring this into a resin printer. Okay. So it gives you a little experience as to what would happen in the resin printer. So the resin printer that I use is called Chompies. Resin printer software. So Chompies, I'll take that, open it up. This may be the old one. Oops, where did it go? Where did you? Oh, there it is, right there. That's my Chompies software. Okay. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna go to open a folder. We're gonna come over and we will grab the lessons folder, Chompies, STL export, cup with logo. It's probably gonna make it really small.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it really did. All right, cool. And
Yeah, that's small, Steve.
I thought I was going to be small. Okay, cool. So this resin printer, let's see, which one am I using? I'm using, I got 2 resin printers that I use. So this is the Anycubic, the small one. This is my small one. And that'll fit perfectly right on there. So rotate it around and get in close, take a look at the logo. See, that's actual 3D.
Yeah.
Will print.
Right. That's exactly what I was looking to do.
All right. So did you see the striations in the cup?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's because they're in the real software.
Okay.
So for those of you out there who are more interested in printing in 3D, make sure that you turn off that smoothing. Make sure it's not the smoothing is off on the surface. For all you 3D people out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I answered your question. Now, before I bring Glenn on, David Glenn on, I want to show you guys something since we're in the printing software. I showed you guys part of the Starship that I did last time is completed. And I want to show you with kind of the parts put together. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to turn off my let me turn on that there. Okay, so that's me there. Okay, let me turn off this background. Going to my settings and go to my virtual background. So you're going to see my messy office. So, but at least you get to see the Starship. So yeah, it's a messy office. All right, here we go. I'm proud of this one. So I showed you guys this last time, right? This is all resin printing, and it's a big model.
It is. That's great.
All right, so the warp nacelles are done.
Mm-hmm.
Those are cool.
So they go one in there. You can see the clear sitting right on top. The other fits right in here. This is like bigger than my head. So it's 2.5 feet long with the saucer section.
When you go resin, you go big, I tell you.
Yeah, go big or go home. And here's the saucer section. And that fits perfectly right into there.
Nice.
It's so large I can't even back up far enough.
Such a panda in the camera.
Yeah, it's big. This is 2.5 feet long. It's bigger than my body. It's longer than my body. So this is all that detail. The client's gonna love this. So the guy who's the physician to the astronauts at NASA, this is his.
Oh wow.
He's the client. You can see underneath where it fits in there just perfectly.
That's great.
It is.
And I can kind of pull it out like that. Saucer section detaches.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I always hated that concept of the newer version Starship. The saucer sections detached. Yeah, that's stupid. And then even stupider are the ones from Discovery, where the nacelles detachable nacelle starships.
Oh yeah.
That annoyed me so much. So you kind of going from
I think the concept behind the concept behind that was that and nobody ever thought about, well, gosh, the warp core is still in the center of the ship.
Yeah.
So you detach the nacelles. You're assuming that the warp core is in the nacelles of the ship.
Yeah, I know.
Wasn't the whole idea was to dump the core? Is there was supposed to be a hatch that you could dump the core, and it would fly away from the aircraft and it would explode.
Yeah, it's kind of like, come on, guys, don't detach the nacelles. We like the nacelles where they are.
Well, the whole idea in the next generation thing was that the nacelle, the saucer section was supposed to separate. They could use it in two modes, either as two ships that are now battleships,
right?
Or in the case of, in some cases, they could, basically evacuate everybody to the saucer ship. Use that as sort of like a big escape boat, a lifeboat.
So why you
let the other go away, and with some poor lackey engineers and
all right,
or red suitors.
Yeah. So what's different about the resin printing? Just thinking about this second thought here, is that you don't like with the filament printer, you print flat on the plane. Yes. So this will be the thing that will attach to your subject to give you adherence to the ground plane or to the printing surface. In resin printing, you don't do that.
Okay.
Is different. In resin printing, you use supports. Supports are critical. I mean, really critical. They're critical either way, but they're really critical here. So I go to my support structure, you can see it elevated. And in the filament printer, you print flat, right? Everything is kind of flat as possible. Yes. In a resin printer, you print at an angle. So if I go back and rotate this I might just want to rotate it that way at an angle. Then you tell it to use the support. So I'll say medium supports, and I'll say, give me supports everywhere. And there are your supports. So this is the way you would print with a resin printer. And I would add more supports to this to make sure that it stays adhered to the build plate.
Okay.
Yeah. If it was me, I'd add more supports to the center. On the
inside.
Infill. So you can
right in here
keep the round shape. Just
right.
From an engineering standpoint.
Right. You're talking about more up into here.
Yeah, inside.
Down. Okay.
But you're more of an expert at this than I am.
I made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. And also, if you're thinking you feel like you understand your support structure based on, say, I can add more in here. I can click and add more in here. As you see me doing now, I can keep adding more supports if I feel like it needs a little extra support. And when you get one model supported correctly and it prints successfully, it doesn't mean that the technique that you use is going to work on another model. Mm-hmm. Every model is unique, literally. So your printing times and your support structure will work for one and not for another. That's what I've discovered. So everyone's got to be unique.
You're trying to strike a balance about putting enough support to keep the thing, steady.
Right. Without adding a lot of extra dings on it.
Yeah. And try to keep it, aesthetically, pleasing.
Pleasing, right? Like this here I don't need. These supports out here and these two in here I don't need. So I can tell it to delete those. It turns them red. I selected the negative eyedropper down here in the bottom. And then when I select them, they go red. They're highlighted red for deletion. Then you hit delete on your keyboard. So I would take those away. And I think this would probably print successfully. David mentioned, getting more on the inside. So I can go add more supports and start adding more supports on the inside, like so.
That's just my feeling.
Yeah, man, that's probably not a bad idea, because aesthetics wise, you're never going to see it from the outside.
Yeah,
you can smooth that inside down pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. Now, can you go like from one position in the model to another position, like, on that, or
What do you mean?
Strictly from the ground to the object?
Yeah, this is strictly from the ground to the object. I mean, I can move it around. If I get out of the support editing mode, I can go to the move tool and move it around and replace it. That's not going to affect your structure. But what will affect your structure is rotation and scale.
Mm-hmm.
It'll delete them completely. So I go to rotation and say rotate up. Come on, there we go. Now there it is. You get this message here, and click yes, and it gets rid of them so that it gives you the ability to rotate another way. Right. So yeah. So and if you take a look at this, Mark, this is the slicer. This is the way it's printing. In your slicer, it probably has a picture of your print head moving in X, Y, and Z space, right?
Yeah.
It should. It should have that feature on there. I know. On mine, what is mine called? Mine is called Cheetah Box is this one. The filament print software is, I forget the name of it, but most of them do. They have a virtual picture of a nozzle head, and it shows you how it's going to actually travel when it's printing.
I don't know that I've seen that, but it's
you got to look for it. It's just there. I'm sure it's there. I mean, most software worth its weight in salt will have that feature.
Okay. Bamboo Labs is they have their Bamboo Studio, which is based on Orca, and they almost always now, and so if it's created in Orca, the rule is if it's created in with Orca, chances are it's going to get incorporated into Bamboo Labs. But sort of a cautionary tale about Bamboo Labs is they've stopped the use of third-party slicers with their printers now.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. So here, these are the layer slicing. So the way the software works is exposes that layer. Go to the very top, it tells you how many layers you have.
Right.
So at the very top, you've got let's see. 3,491 layers.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that actually on a YouTube video this morning where a gentleman was changing color at certain levels and making one flat image, or not entirely flat, but like an image of a car with smoke coming off the wheels, making it 4 different colors, and having it cut out at different levels so he could change the color.
Right.
Yeah,
so then it goes layer by layer. It exposes one layer at a time simultaneously. Everything in that layer is exposed, and it takes about, for me, 2.5 seconds per layer. Then it goes up.
Yeah. In bamboo, they have a thing called an AMS, and it's a device you purchase separately. And I think some people have stacked up, I think, 13 AMSs into this thing, all with spools of different colors.
Yeah,
and you can do things like that.
Yeah, right. That's what he was referring to. I wasn't familiar with the term at the time.
So, David, go ahead and share your screen.
Well, what do you want me to show?
Whatever you want to show.
Well, while we're going through this bit about 3D printers, I do have a thing on Maker World that I can show you.
All right, that'll be cool. Go ahead and share your screen.
Okay, so what I have going, I haven't been doing very much this week because I've been busy. Yeah, I've been spending my week trying to find an apartment.
You were doing that last week too.
Yeah, and I'll probably be doing it the week after this because I won't get into the I can hardly, you can hardly at my age you can hardly get into the subject with apartments without getting into the politics that is behind it. And I don't want to, and I didn't want to turn this into a political discussion.
No. So share your screen.
Okay, let me share my screen. Not slides. Come on, David. You know this. Let's see. If I do that, I'm going to do this, and I'll give you that.
All right, David Glenn, right there, adding him to the. Oh, I gotta take me off, don't I? Remove and then add to stage. There you go.
Yeah, this just kind of came to me in the last minute because I didn't have much to show you yet. You know, a lot of things I've been studying is based on what is that gentleman called? It's something that's actually shared on your site, on your Discord site, and I figured, well, you know, me trying to present that, you know, my advice is to go to, I think he calls himself Amand or something like that, or whatever. But he's been doing a bunch of interesting videos. I think he's going to take my job eventually, and he's a virtual character. One of the elements of Bamboo Labs, and I emphasize the fact that this is Bamboo Labs, and I am working on Bamboo Labs, bamboo stuff, and they have their own little repository called Maker World. And one of the things that they like to do, because a lot of their clients are like, you know, people out there who build stuff, you know, for themselves, or like, to make and put on Etsy or whatever is, they have a crafting background, but they just not necessarily have a 3D creation background. And one of the things that I looked upon this to do is primarily to use the tools, the AI portion of the tools, to sometimes create things that are that I, personally, I don't have the capability to do, and AI would do it a lot better. And Maker World is very aware of this stuff. One of the things that they have is under their thing called Maker Lab, which is part of their system. And right now I'm not logged on, so I logged in. You wouldn't be either. So so there's going to be a bit of discovery here, how much I can get out of this thing without having to log in. And that would probably be a benefit to you guys, because that's where you're probably going to be. you know, you know, yeah. And I say that because I'm not too sure if you have necessarily have to have a bamboo printer anymore to be part of Maker World. I certainly hope they're not going to pull that. But you know, there's always possibilities.
Yeah.
One of the things we can do here is you can like make little badges or make little pictures, like put your dog in a relief here, or a picture. I think I did this with mine, and then I would bring this into Blender or LightWave, you know, which is my other program, and maybe do a few adjustments, adjustments there. There's some great defraggers out there in Blender that is well worth investing in, I think. And but I think I'm going to focus today on statues. And right off the bat is going to tell me either sign up or log in. And excuse me a second while I pull it over here and log in. Let's see. Ooh, they're being really nasty. Let's see. Maybe I should pick something else.
Well, I was able to create a login, and it asked what kind of machine I'm printing on, and I said Flashforge Adventurer 5M, and it seems good with that.
Okay. They're making me put in a verification number, so that's why I'm trying to do all this off screen. My visit to great. Everybody knows about my visit to Shag. Shag's one of the outfits that so yeah. By the way, on Maker World, I also have a presence on there. There's my presence. And I had somebody comment to me over there. I got this little tag, thing over there that I literally teach people how to make this tag for this case that is sold at Harbor Freight Tools. So let me see if I can get back to Maker Lab. And yeah, I'm going to go into the statue. And as you can see, I already have one of my this is one that I already created. And let's see. Oh, it's going to go over there. I'm going to say cancel. I don't want it. Let's see. I want to create a new statue. I don't want to, continue, cancel this task. I'm going to create a new one. Let me go in here and let's see. If I cancel out of this, continue. Confirm. Drag and open file of pictures. Let me go grab let me go off screen again and grab a file for you that is appropriate. Go into my pictures. No, I don't want to do that. Oh, wait a minute. Do I have anything here? Boom, boom, boom. I could try a cartoon just to see how it would work. But I have a feeling it wouldn't understand it. Ooh, we could try. Let's try this. This is different. I bet it doesn't work with this. Do you want to test the I'm not going to do that to you guys. Let's see. Benchy. Oh, I've gotten some very interesting pictures of Benchies lately. Ooh. Nah, I don't want to do Biden. Let's do this guy. He doesn't get enough love. Your furlough can only be used by the second generation program and is deleted. I know. Here's a picture of myself. He doesn't get enough love. We'll make a statue out of him. Or at least try to. Service errors. Sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't.
That's the way with computers.
Let's see. We tried him. It didn't work. Ooh. Here's a good one. I can bring this in. This is some of the 3D stuff I did to my, I took my picture and I put it into AI, and some of the pictures that I getting. There's also some pictures that I have of, I thought about doing some of these cartoons. Here's one of my favorite. Let's see. No, I don't have any of Donald Trump. I don't want to use anything that even remotely is lewd. I could try this, but I don't think that's going to work. Darn it! Where's my picture? I did have another picture of myself in here. Oh, that's scary. Yeah, I don't know if we want to do the cat. This would be fun. This is even better. Like I said, I don't want to get political. Darn it. Trying to find a simple picture here. Well, let's see if we can get away with a cartoon. This is simple enough. This is from one of the Miko festivals that I attended. They had a thing where you can get online and draw. We'll see if we can get away with that. Well, it's not complaining, but it's going to give me a service error. Okay, let's skip the statue for now. Oh, wait a minute. Let's do this. Let's do new project. Drag and drop. Let's go back to this guy and bring him in. Your photo will only be used by the 3D generation program and then deleted. Okay. I realize that. This will be the last chance for this guy. And we have more success. And it cranks, and it cranks, and it cranks. Yeah, doing a 3D object is sometimes I don't think we want to wait 6 minutes, do we?
Is it generating a 3D object?
Yeah, it's refining the mesh.
Okay.
Stephen, would you be able to send back that STL of the mug holder?
I don't know. Are you worthy? Look, Steve did this for me. Yeah, I'll do that real quick. I will.
I think it's because there's 5 users ahead of me, so
I will send it. I'll put it back in the folder that.
I'm gonna go back to the maker thing, and I'm gonna see if ooh.
There we go.
Well, I switched over to another thing. This is where I made a vase. And you can go in here, and the nice thing about this is you can go in here and you can change the size of the vase. And it's much quicker to do than the picture part. Yeah. And you can change the nature of the vase and add a twist, which it should be able to do. And I don't see it. You can make it. You can cut all this stuff in the center out. I use this to create what I call my demon cooler, which was something that I made over here. This was specifically made to the size that you can put your average aqua container in, like I have here, and you can put it into you can put it into the thing, and I think right here is where you can do the rotation, much like in Maya or LightWave or Blender. And there's one other thing I wanted to do, relief sculpture. I'm sure relief sculpture is far easier to do. And single-sided relief, double-sided relief. I think we'll stick with single-sided given the time that I've already taken up. And I'm going to use one of their test photos, which is a panda. But you can add you can go back and let's see if we can do a relief. Where's my, ooh, let's try this. That can't, nobody can complain about that. Come on. It's cute. It's Chikawa. I have a friend who's really a big fan of that, and she says, "Oh, I want you to add Chikawa to your game," and so I did. And I like that. It isn't complaining. And Ooh, it's going to turn out square. I want it to be round. Oh, well. There's 0 hertz, so this shouldn't take long. I don't have any. The unfortunate part of anything like this is that you're sharing the resources of the system that you're using with other users. And particularly with things like, this is the generated result of Jesua. And it's a very simple drawing, so it's I don't think it did too bad of a job on it. I think he's probably a little square, but for something that you literally get for a song, and I'm going to do single relief and just see. Let's see if I can find another one here that is good. I'm going to try this guy. I did this for a Halloween thing some time ago, and this is going to be a little more challenging. Some of like a variation on Frankenstein. My face is as Frankenstein, and I got a bob pipe attached to it. I did this just as a joke for myself. This is, I said, here's my virtual, and I'm going to make it into a round this time around. So I'm going to make a round. We're going to make a round Dave coin. This will be the new bit currency, latest bit currency that's going to be out there. And we'll see how this works out. If this if this works out, depending on how much time I have, I could always try it on something a little more. Well, it isn't too good. It isn't too bad. Like I say, all this has a certain amount of, and just for the sake of time, let's see, dimensions, say 117, thickness, substance, let's see, no frame, with frame. And I'm going to go something like that, something that institutionalizes my silly side.
That looks good.
And I should have done Colonel Sanders. I've been more. And then finally, you can export it. And I'm going to go, oh, it already sent it over to this. So, yeah, it is already created it. I don't want to do EMF, 3MF, which some 3D programs will accept, but I do know that Blender will. I think Blender will accept SDL mode. Steve,
what was that?
I think Blender will accept STL.
Of course.
Okay, it's pretty basic. And let's kill that, and let me bring up this and see if we can see what this thing. Yeah, see what garbage we've created here. What abominable mess I have created. Let's see. Let's go import STL. And it's going to be under downloads.
I put the STL
Relief
in the
sculpture
chat box, Mark.
Oh, great. Thank you. Yeah, I see.
And voila.
Nice. Cool.
There we go.
I want to call
And,
put me on
now,
it.
I don't know. Let's see. If it's just one thing. So, you could do with this whatever you want. I like to do this, like if I wanted to do a quick and dirty that I want to, prank off my friends and saying, this is my newest Bitcoin. I could go into materials, for instance, and let's see, I'll probably make a gold of some kind. Just go in here and go materials, into my materials. Come on. And create a material. Ooh, it's going to crash on me. I have a feeling it's going to crash on me. Yeah. No, it didn't. Okay. And no, not geometry nodes. Shading. I buy a big expensive system, and the darn thing likes to
take its time.
Ah, there it is. It just went off into some reason it made it a translucent. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm going to go what is it? Well, I'm going to go into here and get a volume. Bring that into here. Take this and go by. And I'm just going to paint this gold, try to make this look like a gold. And I'm going to change the metallic up like this, and roughness down to a rough area. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice.
The latest Bitcoin. The latest Bitcoin. I don't know what we'd call this. We want to call it the Glen or the D. No, I don't know. I'll leave it up to you guys. But, I'm going to post this on Elon Musk's thing. I said, okay, I got you. I got you beat. You got the Doge. I got. I got the Glen. And he looks almost like he has a beard. You notice that? And of course, you can see the bolts on his side there. So I'm sure you could use this with cartoons.
Looks good.
But I could put it back on this thing, but I struggled trying to find this graphic. I don't know what I'd have for the back. Almost looks like he has a tie, even though. Oh, that's right. I did put a tie on him. I was shooting for the Bob look. But that's actually a picture I took of myself, a long time ago, and when I was looking a lot better. And who says you can't have fun with Blender?
For sure.
Blender's a great tool.
Yeah.
God bless the people who work on it and improve it and teach it, and it allows you to create little fun stuff like this. And I can go into layout go. And hopefully go over here and go and switch this to background to color to black in order to add some dynamics. And I have no idea where my light went. Where's my light? Oh, there's my light. Let's grab that and bring it up here over here. Might as well show the easy way of doing things. And I'm going to go ahead and set that to 1,000 watts. I'm going to set that to like, this will probably be too bright. 8. And we'll just see how that came over. Why isn't it showing up? Oh, there it is. I don't think I got it bright enough. Maybe 800 isn't bright enough. Let's try 10. So help me. Like I'm in a fog. Maybe area light. Well, I could always do this. I'm surprised. I got sun up here, and some reason sun isn't showing up. This usually brings out the world. This guy here, I should turn him over to here and bring him in front of this.
Wow.
Well, you get the idea.
Yeah.
Hopefully. So, largely because, and let's see, scale, size. Ooh, that made it worse. Oh, well. Let's go back to world and give them a little more color. And meanwhile, I muddy the waters. I'm curious what it'll do in a render. Well, that's right. It's based on the camera, which is buried in the coin. Let's do this. I think his name is Ananon. Is a character that's on DC stuff. I invite you to go see that sometime because he's a crack. Let's see. So control alternate 0 that sets the camera view correctly. Where's my camera? No. Oh yeah, I did. Oh, Well, anyway, as I bury myself into the ground.
Oh, good. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, my camera's right there. And for some reason, let's try. Let's see. Let's go into world. I'm going to set the color. I know what to do. When all else fails. Background. Let's see, surface. There's a thing here called environmental. See, I'm in world. Use nodes, surface, background. Or do we want to go here? That's it. Environmental texture. And then for our environmental texture, I have to go and grab an image. No, I want to grab an image and go, let's see, I'm in my OneDrive. No, I want to go to, well, I could go movie. It's my homework assignment, by the way.
All right, we have class on Sunday.
And let's see, where do I have it? I think it is procedural graphics, procedural shaders. I think it's in procedural graphics. No, it's not. Go back up. I love the way this does these folders now. I think there was a thing in a switch in presets that in the settings that allows you to do this in 4.3. Let's see.
Could you not use the search at the top? Do you know name, file name? Or?
What I'm looking for is an HDR. Oh, I got really, really sidetracked. Let's see, materials. Nope. It's cricket green. No. Oh, well, I'm desperate. I'm desperate. I'll use anything. I just made the back. I just made the the background my cricket green thing. That you see in the back in my picture background. Bringing it to camera. And why didn't it take? Okay. This isn't right. Okay. I'm going to go into here. I'm going to go into here, set this up like that. This time I'm going to go view. Align active camera to view. No. I want to camera. No. I want to align Camera to view. Huh, it's not working today.
What's happening?
I'm trying to set the camera to show my coin, and for some reason it's not showing the coin. It's showing this.
All right. Select your camera on your outliner. All right. Go to your the left-hand vertical menu. It's hidden. Hit your N key on your keyboard. Hit your N key on your keyboard. There you go. All right. So on the left-hand side, go down to View.
Left-hand side, go down to View.
Well, hold on a minute. On the left-hand, on that left-hand menu that just popped up, you have items selected right now. The vertical titles. Go down to View. No, get out of there. Go to the right.
The right.
They're there. That menu there. Go to View. It's just to your right. To your right. Slow down. It's right there. View. Right. Camera to view. Click it.
Camera to view.
It's right below you there. Right there. That's it. Now hit the 0 key on your keyboard. 0 on your numerical side of your keyboard. There we go. Now you can view through your camera. Hit your number 5 key on the numerical side of your keyboard. Number 5. There you go. That's puts it in, I think it puts it in perspective mode. What did it do? Hit your 0 key again. There you go. Now you're going to rotate it until you can view your object inside there. Hold down your Alt key and rotate it around. Are you not able to?
Mm-mm.
I
broke
it. No, just delete the camera and put in a new one.
Yeah.
Hit delete on your keyboard. There you go. Put it Shift A. You are in perspective. You're not in perspective mode. Hit your number 5 key on your numeric side of your keyboard. There. That's perspective mode. Bring in your camera and then hit your 0 key to view through your camera.
Well, I don't have a camera to view anymore. I just deleted it.
Well, I mentioned that I asked you to put it back in, Shift A.
Okay.
You're going to bring in another one, Shift A.
Shift A. New camera.
Camera.
Done.
Now hit 0 key on your keyboard. Hit your 0 key on your keyboard. There you go. Pull it back and rotate until you can see your objects. Actually, you need to hit lock camera to view, which you already have. Okay, good. Now you can pull back and move and navigate around. Use your navigational tools. Control, Alt, pull back, Alt, rotate around. There you go. Now pull back. So stop going to those stupid things over there. Use your Control and Alt key and pull back. Use your shortcuts. Like that. Okay, but now you got out of camera view, but you can do it that way too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now go to camera view. Pull back. There you go. Again, remember that there's always this interference of zoom too that kind of messed you up. Remember last week, and I had a little problem with the tutorial I was doing, when I replicate objects, you want to give it different colors. Well, after I got off the broadcast, I went and redid it again, and it worked.
Yeah. Well, that's Blender sometimes. You know, sometimes it's going to behave with you, or really any program for that matter.
It's Zoom. It's Zoom. Zoom is messing with your graphics card. They're competing with your graphics resources alongside Blender.
Now, to zoom in my camera mode, do I hit that and I hit Z?
Control.
No, that puts me up and down.
Alt. You listening? Control and Alt and
Control
zoom
Alt
and zoom in. Left click and drag up and down. Left click and drag up and down with Control and Alt held down.
Control Alt.
All right.
Okay. I'm actually. Yeah. Now let's go G key and try to bring it down.
You want to bring it down. If you want to pan it, it's Shift and Alt. Shift and Alt to pan your camera. You don't need to go select the camera. Just hold down Shift and Alt and pan. Shift and Alt, left click and drag.
There we go.
All right.
I'll get these someday. This is one of the reasons why I want to take your basic class.
Yeah, that's coming up.
There you go.
And I recommend Mark.
When you go and do it.
I put the links for the two basic classes coming up, so Mark might take advantage. I've got one coming up during Wonderfest. It's an 8-hour all-day class. It's a single class that happens on May 30th during Wonderfest.
Okay.
What was that?
Okay. I'll take a look.
That might be a good one for you to start off with, and then it'll give you an education as to where we're going to be going in the 5-week class after that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so go on and I only allow 10 people in that class, so go on and get signed up now for that.
All right. So just follow your link.
Right, it says Wonderfest Workshop, Crafting 3D Printing Editions. And I'll put the Blender 3D Printing class. There, that one there. Wonderfest Workshops.
Hang on. Let's see. Okay.
And it goes from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. with an hour break for lunch. Okay.
I will do that right now.
From the comfort of your home, for you, I'll be in Louisville and live in person. But other people in the class will be there via Zoom, while others will be there in person.
Okay.
So
I can't go there because it's difficult for me to take a trip to Kentucky right now.
No, the flights are cheap, and then it's only $50 for the whole weekend conference.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really costing you a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, right now, $1,000 for me is a lot of money.
For anybody's a lot of money right now. The economy is tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough economy right now.
Yes, sir.
That's why I keep the workshop prices low so that people can take advantage of them. That's cool. I like this. You can 3D print that too.
I'm gonna sell these as the next cryptocurrency, and that way I can go and go to Kentucky and see your thing going on.
Mm-hmm. Your own personal Bitcoin.
Yeah. Can we pay with that? No.
That would be nice.
Y'all want to invest? If nothing else, I could always put it up as a perk on Patreon. I can print it out. I could sell it at Etsy. And you saw it being made right here.
Yeah.
The thing is I haven't quite figured out what to name it.
I love these Twitch broadcasts, right? And I'm looking at the different types of broadcasts here. And one of the highest numbers in terms of people attending is the Bob Ross.
Oh, God.
It's like Bob Ross is 1.2K viewers right now. Riff Tracks is 451 viewers.
Look at my picture.
Got one guy, Ink One, is only 4 people. You've got Brit just chatting, right? That's who's that? Okay, Chompies are jumping in. Okay, there we go. You're back.
Yeah, sorry, I accidentally hit the back button.
You can see you can see how much of a Bob Ross devotee I am.
Yeah, Bob Ross is popular on these channels.
By the way, this is the cap. This is the cup. You can see the little things I got up here.
Yeah.
Before I printed out my stand for the camera, this is where I set the camera on.
But this is what's interesting. It's like, here's one where they're just chatting, right? And it's about, how many people? I was just there. There it is. It's like 152.
And FYI,
I even noticed that on this channel, if we're just bullshitting and chatting about stuff, we get more eyeballs coming in than actually doing technical stuff.
Mm-hmm. This one has a thing that says, happy trees,
right?
Little happy little trees. But I bought this, I think, at Michael's.
He passed away of cancer, right?
I don't know.
This guy started in PBS,
right?
He really was, he was one of the early versions of people that would get on the air, much like we do here. This guy originated it, the concept of it, except he did it on PBS.
PBS, that's right.
He did this on PBS, and he made an industry over it. And unfortunately, now that he's gone, there's a lot of argument in the back. There's a backstory about Bob Ross and the Bob Ross industry, about things like this cup. By the way, this cup is official Bob Ross, from the Bob Ross Industries, and who owns it and everything else.
Right.
And it's a story unto itself. If you ever have any time on your hands, you should look it up, the story of Bob Ross.
So, Mark.
Yes.
Mark, I got a question. Okay. I got a question. Do you have any 3D models of your scopes?
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean 3D models?
Of the Chompies, the actual characters of the Chompies.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm talking about the Send Me right now.
Oh, okay, sure. I can do that.
But you sent me the mug, right? But you didn't send any of the characters.
Not many on this computer.
Because I can show you some of the sculpting tools in Blender.
Oh, okay. Okay, 1 second. Actually, yeah, I'll have to switch to my laptop again, working on my wife's, and I can send.
Oh, they're actually on your hard drive, huh?
Yeah.
And I had a question for David too, but I forgot what it was. David's got his Bitcoin, his own Bitcoin. We're rich. We're rich.
Yeah, I'm going to be wealthy. I'm going to be as wealthy as sin, just like Elon Musk. Cringe.
No, we need to start ringing in a lot of these rich people. They're so greedy. They're going to start messing with Social Security.
Yeah. Well, don't get me started,
greedy.
please. I am just going to start a channel on that.
It's so funny, and it's all this bullshit talk about immigrants and the Social Security. They're paying in the Social Security, but they're not drawing out. So they're basically adding the Social Security additional funds. Yeah, they're adding to
it. Them. Ain't that sweet? Ain't that special?
Yeah.
But
tax the rich, and then that'll completely deal with any issues, deficits that the Social Security could have. But it's designed to basically, constantly grow and grow and grow, and support everybody. So it's just so much greed is going on in our system. People want that Social Security. There's a lot of money there, and take it away from, that's our money. That's just crazy.
Yes.
It's our money.
So I just sent you a couple files through Messenger.
All right, let me go check it out now. And let's see, where are you? There it is, Mark from Chompies. Mark Sherritt. I do not. Let's see. Limo, is that the one?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna download that. So click on it. Why am I not getting? Oh, there we go. It's taking a little bit of time. Okay. So I've got the. Go to my lessons folder, go to Chompies.
Throw nothing away.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that's the STL export. So I'm going to drop it right inside there. I'm going to do the same thing for Cram, I think you called it.
Kaz and Cram. Those are named after my wife, Karen, and me, my name backwards.
Oh, okay.
Kind of named many of the characters, or a number of them, after kids and grandkids, and like I say, my wife and I.
There we go.
Switch off to me and on to you.
I'm sorry?
All right, let's go check this out. Let me save this one, Command-Shift-S, and I'll put this back into the lessons folder under Chompies.
David, I was thinking you could name your token Frank and Glenn. You got the bolts.
Go ahead.
F coin. F coin. I did that as a Halloween joke. You put that on when I was on Facebook a lot. I was doing a lot of changing my logo, my identity, thing, often. And one of the things, I had a little face that kind of looked. That was one of my pictures I took. Believe it or not, in a hotel. I had my camera with me, and the lighting was just perfect. And I had this really cool picture of myself in my hoodie, in a hoodie I had, at this hotel. It was a health hotel. It was a spa hotel, I should say.
I'll do that's Kino. I'll do Kaz and Cram.
And that's built out of that picture.
Oh, okay.
That's the story behind that.
All right, there they are. All right, let me go to my rotation on the x-axis. So rotation.
Still seeing David's screen, I think.
Yeah, you might want to switch over, Steve.
All right, very good.
Let me see what you're doing.
Let's see. Where's your screen? Let's remove that one.
Yes.
Add that to stage. There we go. All right.
You can see his stuff. Enough of my crap.
I'm curious to see if the texture was included on this. Nope, no texture. All right, no problem. Because he can paint on his texture in here too.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to UV map it and all. So there's a couple of things that you need to do. You need to UV map them if you're going to actually do painting and Blender on it. But all right, so there's a sculpture. Now I'm gonna hold my tab key down and go to my sculpt mode, and here are all some of your sculpting tools right down here at the bottom. See if we got more in there.
Wow.
And I've got more. I can scroll down more. I've got more in here, which is kind of nice. So now you can start cleaning up your models a little bit or accentuating them. So for example, a standard tool, it's right here. It's your draw tool. And you've got some dents in here. I'm not sure if you mean for those to be there.
No.
No? Okay,
No.
so you can smooth those out. If I hold your shift key down, you can smooth it out like this.
Nice.
Shift, smooth that on out like that. Okay, just some of the little dings that show up in there that shouldn't be. And we'll cover this in the some of the 3D printing and Blender class. So holding down the shift and the shift key for smoothing out is the same shortcut you use inside of ZBrush.
Okay.
I'm going to kind of inspect it a little bit, kind of smooth that out like so. Looking at the body overall, probably not too bad. It didn't have that many dings, only about a few. All right, eyebrows, if you want to accentuate those out a little bit, I can utilize, I'm still in my draw tool, and I could stay in my draw tool and just pull it out like that. See that coming out a little bit?
Yes, sir.
If I want a little more of a crevice in between on the base of that eyebrow, right? I'm going to reduce the size of my brush size right about like so. And then if I hold down the control key, I can push down into it.
Okay. Yeah.
Then go to my shift key and smooth it out at the same time. But the problem here is if we take a look at a geometry, I'm going to go turn on my face orientation, but my wireframe, you need more geometry in here. There's kind of like not enough. I want to add a little more. So what I'll do is I'm going to add on a modifier under generate called multi-resolution. Select it, and right over here, you can see this is the modifier properties. Click subdivide once, you're going to have a single subdivision pop up here as it's thinking. It's still thinking. There we go. I see the scope mode, level weights. There it is. Go to 1. I want levels of view.
Wow.
Taking its own sweet time. There we go. Now we got 1. Now I'm going to go 1 more. I'm going to turn this off real quick. I'm going to turn off that visual. I'm going to pull this right over here.
And I assume you're doing this, for 3D.
Doing what for 3D?
This model here, you're working for a 3D.
Yeah. He wants to 3D print this out.
Yeah. Okay.
He wants to 3D print this out. I'm going to go back to object mode just very quickly so I can come back, turn off that wireframe. There we go. Now I'll go back to my modifier. Pull that on over, and we'll give it hit the subdivision button again, and you should have 2 will show up here. That's about all I'm going to put on, so I don't want to break the memory guide here. It's taking a little extra time because we've got 2 characters in here.
And you're streaming.
Yeah, these characters. You're going to want to separate these, okay?
Okay.
That's going to be very important. Right now, if I select one, they both selected. That's because they're both part of one object. If I come over here in Blender, Cas and Cram is one object. And I should have separated that from the very beginning. In fact, I will do so now. I'm gonna come back to the modifier and just turn them off for now. Tab key, edit mode, and I'm gonna hit my Alt or Option Z. And what that does is it goes to X-ray mode, so I can select everything to the left.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Everything has been selected. Okay. Hit the P key to break it out into its own separate part. I want that selected part. Click, and there it is. Look over here to the right. Now you got two separate objects. So which one is that one, Cas or Cram?
That would be Cas on our left.
All right. So I will just take out and Cram, and this one will be Cram.
Okay.
Take out all of that. So we know who is who. There we go. Okay. So now I can work on them individually. So I can turn this one off in my object mode, select it, and hit the H key for hide. Still there. If I hold Alt H, everything's come back. Hit the H, it hides that one. And we can work with this one. I'm going to right click, set the origin to geometry, so I can reset the origin point to the dead center of my object. And you might even want your origin at the very bottom. That's up to you. So I'm going to just drag it on up, bring it on over. Command S, and this one's going to be called Cas and Cram. Cas and Cram. I think that's a K with Cram, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Here we go. Okay, now I'm using a Wacom stylus, just so that everybody is aware of this. This is my stylus. I got a 3-button mouse, so very important for using sculpting techniques inside of Blender, right? And we will, let me go back to viewing. There we go. Now we will hit the period key to bring this to foreground view. Alt Z here, tab key, scope. See, I'm moving faster now. You notice moving faster now, so I don't have that other one taking up memory that I want to save for this. Multi-resolution is there. I'm going to click it on now. Give it a hot second for it to kind of think.
There it goes.
There it is. See, and it's smoothed out even more. So now if I come here and start to paint, see, it's smooth.
Nice.
All right. So I'm going to make it maybe a little bit bigger, kind of push it on out a little bit if I want to. And you can come in and start accentuating your model. So I want to put a little more of a crevice down here in the bottom, make my brush really small, like so. Hold down the Command or the Control key, and I can push down, and that pushes it in.
Okay.
So bring it around to the side a little bit, pushes in a little bit. There we go. And then at the same time, I want to smooth it out a little bit. Bring it up a little higher. Hold down the Shift key and let it smooth out those edges over there. Okay, let's bring it on back. They got this little piece up here. I'm probably going to want to pull out a little bit. Make it a little bit bigger and just push it. See that? Gives a nice little smoother look. Maybe you want the eyeballs to pop out a little bit more. All right. Same thing with this eyeball over here. Maybe you want that to come up a little bit more. And you start to sculpt out your characters a little better. The teeth, you want more detail in the teeth, right? So we need to go in between them. Kind of get those gaps. So control key and push in. Pull this down here. Make it a little bit bigger. Push in a little bit. Even up here in these lip areas, make it a little smaller. Control key, push it down. See, we're starting to get a little more sculptural detail in there.
Looking good.
All right, so yeah, you get the point. We'll do a whole sculpting thing next week.
Oh yeah, okay.
You know what? Next week, let me check the schedule for next week. Next week I'm teaching a full day workshop for the Professional Photographers of America. Let me go to pull my website on over here. Go to About Speaking Schedule. Speaking schedule, thank you. And next week is the 26th, right? April 26th. So that is, San Diego Portrait. No, that's the San Diego Portrait Club. I'm doing a workshop for them. So it has to do with photography. So there will not be a Blender meeting next Saturday, everybody. I'll send reminders as well to the mailing list. I think I've got another one. That's the 3rd of May. So that's the 3rd of May. So the next 2 weeks presenting San Diego Photoshop. Oh, let's see. Oh, that's something different. We are having a meeting right after. With nothing next week, but the week after we are having a meeting, but it's going to be a Photoshop users group meeting. It's going to be the business of selling your art is what it is. So definitely you guys be there for that.
Okay. We'll check it out.
All right. Yeah, definitely check that out. So
Mark, be on Twitch?
That'll be on Twitch.
Good.
Yeah, that'll be on Twitch. The Photoshop users group, we run it the exact same way we do the Blender.
Okay.
On Twitch, so definitely be here for that. So definitely sign up for the at least, if anything, the 1-day Blender class, May 30th, for the Blender in 3D and for 3D printing, and then afterwards, if you'll give you some education as to for the 5-week one. 5-week one, we're going to go into a lot more detail. Okay, I guess I didn't see any questions inside the chat box at all. Thank you all for being here. It's past that time now. So
yeah,
for being here, we'll see everybody in 2 weeks. So next week I'm going to be teaching a workshop in person. So I won't be here, but the week after we will have, and I'll send, like I said before, I'll send meetings out. So thank you for attending, everybody on Twitch. It's always great to see everybody here. Who's here now? Yeah, Ace Hoffman, Glenn. Not everybody's showing up, but thanks for being here. Thank you so much, Mark. You were great. Thank you, David. You're great as usual. And we'll see everybody in about a couple of weeks.
Thank you very much, Stephen. This was
you're most welcome.
Very good for me too.
All right.
learn some stuff, and obviously have more to learn.
Oh yeah, trust me.
You never stop learning this stuff. I've been in this business or been in the computer graphics business for a long time, and you never stop. You never stop learning.
You sure don't.
The mentality I almost take is that, I'll rest when I get to the grave.
Exactly right.
Great. Well, thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you. And I also always like to put up here. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, but I'm gonna share something else. I'd like to say a thank you to our sponsor, and let's see, video file. There we go. I'm going to go to the video file and share that. And normally this is handy. There we go.
Yeah.
And share our little video that they've asked us to share to everybody. And then we'll see everybody next week.
Great. Thanks.
Over 150 years ago, in a plantation kitchen near Jackson, Tennessee, Lucinda Macklin, the head cook, created masterpieces of Southern cooking every day. With her culinary creativity and her knowledge of certain secrets of food preparation, Lucinda made her very own special sauces. She developed a variety of marinades and sauces full of diverse herbs, spices, and a whole lot of love. The thick and tangy barbecue sauce she made was so rich, it was poured into jars rather than bottles. Soon, Lucinda's delicious, authentic sauces became known all across the South. Lucinda Macklin was wise enough to realize that her gift for cooking wasn't truly a gift until it was given. So she passed her many recipes on to her daughter, Osabel, and Osabel imparted her knowledge to her daughter, Thelma. Thelma kept the tradition alive by passing those precious gifts to her son, Lamont Burns. And Lamont is still passing it on and on and on.
I'm Lamont Burns, inviting you to enjoy my great-grandmother Lucinda's recipes in every jar of the Lamont's authentic Southern marinade and barbecue sauce. You spend good money on meats, but you're probably not getting that good down-home flavor. Marinate your meat in Lamont's marinade. It puts the flavor from the skin to the bone, long before you ever cook it. Then add the Lamont's authentic Southern barbecue sauce, and I tell you, you got some good eating.